Good morning, everyone. It is 11:46 a.m. here Eastern Standard Time in North Carolina, and I'm bringing live Saturday morning coffee from blog Media Breeze. I want to talk to you just about a few things. I'm not going to be here long, probably less than 30 minutes. But you can get down in the chat if you have something you want to talk about, because Saturday morning live coffee with me is just what it is very casual. And instead of coffee lately, I've been having my ginger water because of, past issues with me recently and the COVID. So I'm going to go ahead and play the intro though, and then I'll be back on to go ahead and talk to you about some things. If I can find the intro. Okay. Hello, and thank you for being here this morning. What is interesting to me is that thing just did that by itself and it shouldn't have. That's interesting. I'm supposed to control that. So that's just interesting to me. I want to share something with you guys. I'm going to share it in more detail over on Blog Spear Talk. That is my workplace channel. This is Vlog Media Breeze, and this morning we are doing Saturday morning live coffee with Breezy. This week, my boss called, I shouldn't call him my boss, the man who manages my work at the company where I work, called me a name. And the reason I describe it the way that I do is, and I will share that with you over on Blog Spear Media, is because I'm nobody's slave. I'm a slave to Christ because he has blessed me with eternal life. This young dude on my job who called me a name exhibited such unprofessionalism, but I digress on that. I just wanted to give you enough so that you will come over to Vlog Spear Media and hear what I have to tell you about that. He called me a name. He sure did. So let's go on and move forward. I want to show something to you. I want to share something with you this morning that it just seems to be a thing in the world right now. The thing in the world is to go back to mistreating Black people. So I want to show you this, and then I want to talk to you about some of the titles that I have here. Let me go back here. Where is it at? I can get it pulled up here. Sometimes it takes me a while. So just one moment.
Back into Ciolino's classroom, and then he pushes her to the ground. Miller watched it all happen and proceeds to shut the door and leave.
The video itself has all the truth it needs in it. So as soon as you watch that, or as soon as you see that, you know immediately what has to be done.
Director Lisa McMillian says a third teacher, seen in the red shirt, came into the classroom after the little girl got pushed to the ground. That teacher was not involved in this incident. Cialino then took the little girl to McMillion's office.
You just know something's not right with that cry. As a mom, you know when something is not right. As a director, I know all of those children and I know how they cry.
McMillion says she immediately pulled the surveillance video, fired the two teachers, reported the incident to police, as well as the little girl's family.
What the hell is this? I cried. I couldn't hold it. It was so heartbroken. Just lying down crying and you are still doing what you were doing. What a heartless man.
Back into Cialino's classroom, and then he pushes her to the ground. Miller watched it all happen and
Okay, so what you have just witnessed is you kind of saw the end before you saw the beginning. That's why I let it play back through to show you what actually happened at the beginning. This is an overweight white male teacher in a school who pushed a toddler. He was abusing the toddler before he pushed her. And then he pushed her, and you see how he picked her up and grabbed her and took her to uh, I guess the office. And the director or principal there, being very in tune to her feelings and knowing the cry of a child who is in trouble, picked up on that. And she immediately pulled the surveillance and fired them and also called the police, which was all of the right things to do. I want to know if you all have any ideas about what we can do in this country to predetermine those types of people, because they do not have a certain look, as we have learned over the years. They do not look a certain way. They can look perfectly normal, be handsome, or look perfectly jolly. The way that this person looked, he looked like a jolly, overweight man, yet he's an abuser and he has issues to turn around and push a baby like that. So I wanted to show that to you. And I wanted to also show this to you as well. This is, let me make sure. Yeah, this is it right here. I'm going to read it to you. Let's see here. This is from a story that is actually it's on the Microsoft page this morning, but it is a story. Let's see where it's from. It's provided by Slate. That's who it's provided by. The ugly history behind those border agents chasing Haitian migrants on horseback. As Haitian migrants carry food, shoes, and other necessities began to wade into the waters of the Rio Grande earlier this month, some were greeted on American soil by Border Patrol agents mounted on horseback. And it goes on to show the picture. Do you see this right here? Look at this face. The same thing we just witnessed as that mean man pushing that baby. We are witnessing this man who is having a field day, whipping up on another human being. He doesn't even know this person. He doesn't know this person's struggle. He doesn't know if this person has health issues. What I'm trying to figure out is why these two men didn't grab that rope from him and start beating him back. Instead of running, why didn't they do that? Perhaps it's because he has guns. He needs a gun because he's a coward. This man, this is what hatred looks like. I want you to take a really good look at it. It goes on to say, photographs and videos captured the scene. Officers chasing migrants back into the water, grabbing migrants by their shirts, or in some cases, hitting them with reins that were fashioned into makeshift whips. One video shows an agent telling a group of migrants, "This is why your country's," and you see the word right there, "because you use your women for this." A message that harkens back to a former president's view of Haiti and other predominantly Black nations. I'm not going to read the rest. You get the message. If you've watched the news, you've seen it as well. It is a horror story. It is a horror story. It's troublesome that this is what is happening. And I want to go ahead and let you hear this as well. I hope I don't get a copyright strike. I really hope I don't. But I do want to share this with you. I hope I can rewind it back. This is an MSNBC story from Joy Reid. And let's just see here.
Will get the situation
Wait a minute, let me see
under
if it will
control.
not be.
Joining me now is U.S. Secretary of
It's not
Homeland
gonna go
Security
back.
Alejandro Mayorkas. Thank you so much, Secretary Mayorkas, for being here. And I guess the obvious first question is, who, to your knowledge, were these agents on horseback? Why were
Oh, goodness.
they? And is this some sort of standard procedure?
Sorry, people.
Maneuvers that really
I'm trying
look like
to figure out
herding
how you make
cattle.
this thing. I don't think it's going to.
Joy, thank you very much for having me
Okay.
on the show. The matter is under
I'm not going to do that one because it's not sharing. It's not showing what I wanted to show. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it is now. It is. Here we go.
of the events that were captured in the photographs and on video. I have ensured that the top leadership of the Office of Professional Responsibility lead that investigation and that it be conducted thoroughly and swiftly. We need this resolved swiftly. And in fact, I anticipate that the results of the investigation will be available by the end of next week. And I have committed to making those results public. I also alerted, the department alerted the department's Office of Inspector General. Third, I directed
Look at these
that
pictures.
the Office of Professional Responsibility.
Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing. But look at those pictures. I have to also say, for those who come in here on the replay, just so you know, a lot of the people who come in here, they are trolls from my employer. Not all of them, but a lot of people who come in here are trolls from my employer, and some of them are Google as well, because I have some issues with Google, as you know. So I wanted to just share that information with you and give you my commentary on it. As we know that prior to our current president entering in this office, where he is now our president of the United States, President Joe Biden, decades ago, he made comments about Black Americans, calling us roaches, saying all kinds of horrible things about us, and he also agreed with segregation. And I know people can change, and I know life can cause you to repent of the negative energy that you bring. It can cause you to repent of your character, your bad character, because any of us who have bad traits, we need to repent of them. I could not help but think that this issue with the Haitians is taking place at the border. Border Patrol is a federal issue, which means that someone up in Washington, D.C. has to also agree for those Border Patrol agents to be out there. I know we're saying it's the Texas governor, and in Texas, that may be the case. I'll have to look into that a little more. At the same time, the White House is in turmoil and has been since Trump entered it. Trump entered that White House and he destroyed all civility. He destroyed all mankind when he entered that White House, and he wanted it to continue. And you need to know that Trump is a person who enjoys watching like a dog fight, a bad dog fight where the dogs are tearing the skin off of each other. He likes that. And he likes having it done to African Americans or Black Americans. And even though he is no longer in that position, you have people like Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, and even the governor of Texas, and all of these people who are continuing to carry out what he has created in the White House, which is a lack of civility. At the same time, I cannot help but make a note in my mind that Biden waited too long. The press had to go after him, and he waited too long to address this issue. And it's like he says things that sound good when he's sitting there in a press conference, but then when he leaves the press conference, nothing happens. Nothing happens. So that is a part of how what I'm thinking this morning about what I have just reported to you. The other side of me wonders why it is, because Black men are strong and brilliant. And I'm trying to understand why countries like Haiti and certain countries over in the continent of Africa depend so much on America and Europe. And Africa, I can't, it just really is mind-boggling to me that they allowed Europeans to come in there and steal all those diamonds and gold from that country. They allowed them to come in there and steal it and direct them to kill each other if any of the other ones who look like them attempted to save the diamonds and jewelry and gold. Not the jewelry, because jewelry is jewelry after it's created, but the diamonds and the gold and the jewels that the country was full of. I'm trying to understand that. I'm trying to understand why they could not stop those people, why they didn't fight back for their country, and for that would have been really something good for their country to make money off of. Yet America and Europe now have it. They don't have all of it, but they have a lot of it. They've torn those grounds apart over there getting it. And I look at these young men who really need to learn to fight back. But then you have this Texas racist person on a horse with guns whipping other young Black men and hurling insults at them. It was so inhuman. If you are here now, you may want to go back. You may want to rewind to look at the video. And I think you're the troll, aren't you? I see you, troll. You're the one who just comes and you just sit and watch. What a loser. Yeah, now you're gone. I digress on that. I want to talk to you also about The View, because this week on The View, Sunny Hostin and Ana Navarro had to exit The View because of COVID. They have, and it left Joy just sitting there. So I wanted to show this to you, but I don't know. I don't want to get like copyright, strikes or anything like that. But they are saying that it was not real. Some people are saying it was not real, allegedly. I'm not going to say it was not real. But wouldn't they have known before? Aren't they supposed to provide their test before they sit down on The View? Most television shows, from what I understand, you have to show that you are negative before you even sit down. But they came in, they had sat down, began reporting some of the information that they're going to report, and then we got word that they were asked to exit the stage because their tests came back negative. And because of that, people are saying that it was something that was finagled for some reason, maybe for views. Also, it was on the day that the vice president was there. Some people are saying that it was a finagled setup just because the vice president being there. Um, and I think she had a message she wanted to get across about COVID, and the increase in views would have, allowed that message to be heard more broadly. That is allegedly, this last part that I'm saying, that is what other people out there are saying on Twitter and even on Instagram and here on YouTube. They're saying that it was not real. But that's what I wanted to get your thoughts on that. Let me know what you think about that. Get down in the comments and talk about it. I'm beginning to wonder if this channel is real this year, because they have it set up so they have a certain algorithm on my channel wherein they do not want my videos to get a certain amount of views. Google has set the algorithm on my channel, and they have the propensity to do that through their computer scientists who work with Google and who can set up these algorithms very easily. They set up algorithms for certain channels so that those channels do not get a certain amount of exposure. And so when you look under my channels, you'll see it's all less than 100. Some of them, they'll give like just under 200. It's nothing like it was. When I was reporting on Love and Marriage Huntsville, I had like, I think about 7,000 views, and I got a lot of subscribers from that. And then when I reported on the Avatar, I had like 17,000, and I received a lot of subscribers from that. So Google has set the algorithm so that my channel does not get certain views. And that is something that I have been building enough paperwork on so that I can document the affirmations on my legal documents and potentially either go into an arbitration or a litigation with them. Because Google is turning out to be a racist outfit. I don't care how many other blacks they've hired. They'll leave channels up like some people who curse and act ninja-ish over here on Google. They'll give those channels almost 1 million views because they want you to see people acting ridiculous on YouTube. They will not take down those channels who bully other. You have to really get to the extreme like Nosy did for them to take your channel down for bullying. There's a channel that has something set up about me trying to get me, trying to do something negative to me, and I've reported it, and that person's channel is still up, and the video is still up. They have not removed it. So I've had to snap that. I've had family members go in. They have also copies of things that I've talked to them about, just so in case Google tries to do something like hack into my computer, you know? And I know this is live Saturday morning coffee with Breezy, so these are things I'm talking about this week. I also wanted to talk about R. Kelly and just briefly give my thoughts on that because I have like literally about 3 more minutes here. R. Kelly, I have not followed that case closely. I do have enough information and have read enough on it to be able to comment on it here. He has been accused of racketeering and some other things. And the jury is out. I think that they're trying to make a decision now. And just based on what I have read, I believe that the courts are too hard on Black men. They're only coming after Black men in a very hard way. R. Kelly is a man who is, he has some literacy challenges in that he cannot read and he cannot spell a lot of words. And people should not pick on him for that. I mean, I've heard other professional people laughing, oh, he spelled high, H-A-I. You are another Black man. So why don't you reach back and try to help him? And you're an attorney at that. So why don't you reach out and try to uh, reach out into the courts and write letters about how the sentencing should not be. I don't think R. Kelly should get any more than about 3 years. I really don't. And in those 3 years, I think he should be put in a special location wherein he is taught literacy, wherein he can get some counseling. He should not be thrown into the prison system with the other prisoners. A lot of these stories that I read from the women are so inconsistent and they are so outlandish and emotional. And then you have some of the women, the parents were involved in sending their young daughters to live with a whole grown man in his house. And then when the daughters turned 18, they were making their own decisions to stay. As a parent, I would never send my daughter to live with another grown man as a teenager, not even before she's age 20. She would have to go to college. Everything would be done in my household. And, you know, I am just, I'm just taken aback by how hard and how callous this society is. Just very callous. With the Haitians, with the picture I showed you of the little girl on Instagram, and even with the R. Kelly situation. So those are my thoughts on him. You can get in your comments. Let me know if you agree with what I am saying. And also let me know what solutions you might have for him. Because you guys, this thing of sending Black men to prison for everything they do, they get 25 years is a bitch. People need to be writing letters to their state legislatures to their governor, and to the U.S. Senate, who represents their state, because the sentences are too harsh. The sentences are not equivalent to the crime. It's just, it's awful. And to think we will talk about these things in the news, we will talk about them, and then we go back to our everyday normal life. I have written letters, but if I'm the only one writing a letter, they're not going to care about my letter, because they care about numbers. And the reason they care about numbers is because they want to be reelected over and over again. And then if they decide to run for a different office, they want to be remembered for having done something for the masses of people. So if you don't have a lot of people writing letters about these things that are bothersome to other human beings, because you can just imagine it could easily happen to someone close to you. And then you would wish you had written a letter. So I want to move forward because I also wanted to touch just briefly on the Nicki Minaj. Is her name Minaj or Minaj? Nicki Minaj case. I'm not too familiar with Nicki Minaj. I've heard her in the press make comments. I've seen her off and on whenever I have watched years ago on music award shows. And when I used to go over to Tasha K, I know one time Tasha K was supposed to be on Nicki Minaj's channel, and Nicki Minaj canceled at the last minute. And Tasha didn't make it over there, but they're still friends, so that's okay. So I know about her from that. I want to say I was listening to the lead attorney on yesterday, and it was a pre-recorded video that where he had provided some content on Nicki Minaj, and he had someone there called Black Tea Blog. He also had another female attorney on with him, and he brought on another gentleman, and they were saying the gentleman he brought on said that Black Tea Blog was what they call a barb, means she's a follower of Nicki Minaj, and she's all things Nicki, and that she had brought in to play information that supports the R word that went against Jennifer Huff. So let's see if I can find it. Jennifer Huff was she was R'd by Nicki Minaj's husband, Kenneth. I just know his first name to be Kenneth. I don't know his last name. And she was on The Real this week, and she was with the attorney who also represented some girl from, oh God, what is the show from? The girl is from the show. Oh my goodness. I can't remember the show. Okay, anyway, whatever. He represented, oh, not a show. She was the girl who is gathering and collecting all of the information against T.I. and Tiny. And his name is Tyrone something, but we're going to see it here because I'm about to play it for you. I'm going to bring it up. Let's see here. One moment. I want to share with you what she has said here. Let's see. Here it is. Oops, we have to wait for this to go off, you guys. Sorry.
Do you want me to get you?
Okay.
Welcome back. Our next guest is speaking out for the first time on camera regarding the lawsuit
It's only 3
she filed
minutes
against Nicki Minaj and her husband, Kenneth Petty, a lawsuit accusing them of harassment and intimidation, among other charges. We believe that all women's voices have
Can you
the
guys
right
hear
to be
this?
heard, which is why we invited her to come here today. Please welcome Jennifer Huff and her lawyer, Tyrone Blackburn. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, welcome to the show, Jennifer and Tyrone. Jennifer, I know this is not an easy thing for you to do, so we're going to take our time. After being silent for so long, why are you here speaking up today?
I'm tired of being afraid. I feel like the actions that were taken in regards to this whole situation have put me in a different type of fear at my age now, and it was wrong, and I don't want to be afraid anymore. So the only way not to be afraid is to continue to speak up.
Now, Jennifer, I'm going to read because I don't want to make a mistake because this is an important story. Though Kenneth Petty first denied the rape charges, he was charged with first-degree rape, subsequently pleaded guilty to attempted
Let me
rape,
know if you guys cannot
and
hear.
spent over 4 years in prison, according to the inmate records. Did you feel that justice was served?
I don't think I thought about justice per se because I was still blaming myself. Okay. I thought it was something that I did or didn't do. So I don't think I thought about if I got justice. I just knew he did what he did and he went to jail, and I had to leave my family, I had to leave my home, and I had to move away. So yeah, I never really gave it much thought.
How has this affected you emotionally over the years?
In so many ways. Hiding within myself, living and surviving through insecurities, using them to protect myself, thinking that if I don't look a certain way, I won't attract a certain type of attention. And I've been like that my whole life.
Jennifer, let's move forward. When it was announced that Kenneth Petty was marrying Nicki Minaj, what was your first thought about that news?
I was so afraid of being found out. I was so afraid of being known as the person he violated. And I didn't want that. You know, it's Nicki Minaj.
Okay, you guys. You guys were able to see that. One moment here to take it off. Okay. So, did you see her attorney and how he was looking at her out of the side of his eye? That's Tyrone, I think Blackman or whatever his name is. He is also representing some of the women in the T.I. and Tiny case, which one of the cases was just dismissed due to the statute of limitations. Yesterday, there were some, and I'm just going to tell you to go over to the channel of the lead attorney because I really need to be off here shortly because we have some things to do today. But the lead attorney reported on, commented on some of this case yesterday, and he brought up Black Tea Blog. He had another gentleman on there who was opposite Black Tea Blog, and then he brought on another channel who is called All About the Trees, not All About the Tea, All About the Trees, and she was also opposite Black Tea Blog. And it's just a really good conversation. I don't want to, I have no notes on it. At the same time, I do want to just guide you to that channel so that you can hear what they have to say about this case, because it kind of brought things in, in full for me. I will say this, that I learned that Black Tea Blog, that I learned that Google took down a few of her videos for bullying. So people must have went over there and flagged her channel after that commentary that the lead attorney did, because I saw something popped up in my feed from her, and I'm not even a member of her channel. It must have popped up just because I was on the channel of the lead attorney, but it popped up in my feed saying that she actually wrote the note saying that her channels or some of her videos had been struck by Google. And you can't bully people. And this is a victim, regardless of how you look at it. Jennifer Huff, it has been proven that Nicki Minaj's husband did aura her. That did happen. Why are people bullying this woman? This stuff like this only happens in the community that looks like me. And I'm going to tell you, I do not agree with a lot of things that people, just variations of people, put out there in the community. There is no unity in the Black community anymore. There is no unity. It's been infiltrated and effed up for decades. There has not been any unity since the 70s, as far back as I can see. They are very good at going against each other. They love to have one up on each other instead of helping to encourage and support the other. And granted, there are intentional efforts out there in the community, at least here in Charlotte, to support each other. In Charlotte, you have a status issue. Within the Black community in Charlotte, I'm going to tell you, there is an issue of status. And I know because I've been invited to like certain things, and I'm going, well, I like these people over here. Is that okay? It's it it's it is just the most ridiculous thing. Is that how you want to die? Is my question. Is that how you want to die? Knowing that you mistreated people that way? Because for me, but I am a daughter of the utmost high God. So I'm always thinking of life and death. I'm always thinking of how I'm going to live my life. And it helps when you're reading your Bible and you know what God expects of you. It really does. And for me, I'm always thinking of the human element. Granted, Miss Minaj's husband has served his time for what he did to Jennifer Huff. What happened afterwards is he did not register. And he might not have registered. Perhaps Nicki Minaj said she didn't want people to know where she lives, allegedly. Perhaps that was the issue, and that's why he didn't register. But as a offender, he was supposed to register and he didn't. And that landed him back in court, which brought up a lot of these issues. They were rehashed. And at some point, people begin to reach out to Miss Huff, trying to bribe her into saying that Nicki Minaj's husband did not do the R word to her. They wanted to bribe her. They offered her $20,000. Honey, let me tell you, I'm going to tell you straight up, $20,000 ain't nothing. I can spend $20,000 in a day. I know that for a fact. So you're offering this woman something this tragic has happened to her, and you want to pay her $20,000. There's not any amount of money in the world, first of all, that you could pay me to say it didn't happen if it happened. And I'm glad she refused it. And she even refused the $500,000. And people think that she is taking them back to court now because of the money. But I learned that she is actually taking them back to court now because of the harassment that she has had to endure. And they have tried to put her life in danger, and all of these things she is saying and alleging that they have done to her. She turned down the money. She was living her life trying to raise her children, and now she is living in fear, she says. And so that's what I learned about that case. Just tragic. Just tragic. All of these things that I have brought to you today, and I wanted to talk a little bit about Wendy Williams, but I do not have time I'm going to go ahead and get off here. For those of you who come in on the replay, including you, Troll, I see you're back. Okay. For all of those who come in on the replay, um, please get in and like, subscribe, click the notifications bell. Get in the comments. Tell me what you think about my thoughts, even on a lot of these issues today. On Saturday morning, I love to come here and talk about information that has been in the news for the past week, because a lot of YouTubers, I noticed, they'll report like every hour on the hour something different. They'll have 6-minute, 8-minute, 2-minute, 3-minute videos. I'm not going to do that. I'm a working person too. I'm trying to get out of corporate America, and I'm trying to blow up my real estate profession. And I have some other things that I'm trying to do. I just want to say to those of you who are not 50 years old, you need to start planning now, because by the time you get to be 50 or even 55 at the most, you're going to want to just do whatever it is you want to do. And some of you are able to do that now. I'm not able to do whatever it is I want to do. I mean, we travel, we do things, we do a lot of what we want to do. At the same time, I don't like the companies and corporate America. I don't like these companies. They are the devil. I have a whole book on it, and I'm going to be promoting it on my other channel, Vlogspear Talk. I'm going to come back on there, come back and go on that channel later on, because I want to talk to you about the fact that on Thursday of this past week, the man who manages the work that I do for the company that I work for called me a name. Called me a name. I don't even believe that. I'm going to tell you something about this company on my other channel later. I digress. But I just want to come on here, do my In the News, end of week networking with you. And as always, thank you for showing up. I really appreciate all of the subscribers that I have. If I haven't told you thank you, I do want to thank you so very much for being a subscriber. And I want to talk to you more about the news and bring more to you. And just let me know your thoughts about the information I'm bringing to you. As you know, through the week, I also talked to you about the Real Housewives franchises. And it's very hard to get rid of the trolls, because the trolls on this channel who come over here, like the one who's here now that I'm looking at, is the devil. And the devil is always there, you guys. You have to fight him off with God. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do with this troll. Fight that troll off with God. Talk to God about that troll. That's what you do. Thank you for showing up. And as always, many blessings to you. And oh, yeah, one more thing. Tomorrow, Sunday, I'm going to bring some information to you right before I go to church. I'll do it early in the morning, and because I do have to go to church at 10:30. So I'm going to bring some information to you about the scriptures that's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind, because most churches are very, they're the same across the board. You know, they say the same thing. They do not educate you about the scriptures. They get on behind the podium, they become emotional, they read one verse to you, and after that, they're screaming or they're harping on that one verse, and the Bible has so much more to it. Look, the troll left. The troll is ungodly. The troll doesn't like God. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll bring that to you tomorrow, and have a good weekend. Enjoy your weekend, and many blessings to you. Bye.